Hello and welcome to Dance Talks. I'm your host, Andrea Cody. Today is August 19th, 2020, and my guest is Hindolo Bongay. Hindolo, welcome to Dance Talks.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Andrea.
I'm
excited to be here.
Me too. Thanks for being here for us.
Yes, ma'am.
So I want to know more about where you're coming from. I know I've known you for so long, but I don't really know how you got here. Can you catch us up from the beginning?
Okay, yeah, sure. Okay, so I'm from Louisiana, a small town, Alexandria, Louisiana. I came to Houston for college. Originally, I was accepted into the University of Houston for dance, and I decided to take another route, go to Texas Southern University for theater. So that's pretty much right. What?
So, what made you change your mind?
So I've always had the aspirations of, enhancing my acting skills. Growing up in Louisiana, I was in a talent agency. It was called LA Entertainment, and we were forced to act, do monologues and small scenes and stuff like that. And I was always super nervous about that part because I wasn't comfortable just speaking in front of crowds and stuff like that. So I was always completely confident in the dance aspect of everything. So
okay.
I got into the agency from just being a dancer, but we were going to an expo where we would basically represent ourselves in front of a lot of different scouting managers and different agencies that could give us bigger opportunities. So the agency that I was a part of, they wanted us to do everything. They wanted us to model, they wanted us to really build our portfolio, and also do the acting portion as well, along with the talent that we came into the agency with. So of course we'll be for myself, I'll be competing in dance, of course. So I would never perform my monologue in front of my managers. I would never at all perform it. They would constantly try to make me do it. I would not do it. I would always act like I left it at home or I forgot it, because it was my sessions were an hour away from where I actually lived, so I would literally act like I left it at home or something.
That was your monologue?
Yes.
Your go-to?
Literally. So all the way up into the competition, we made it to the competition. I had been practicing my monologue on my own in my room, went to the competition, and I ended up winning the actual monologue portion. And I had been going up against people that had kids that had already been on Broadway and stuff like that. And so I'm okay, I'm clearly pretty good at this, So I just really wanted to enhance that. And originally when I got into the University of Houston, I was offered, a pretty nice scholarship, but not enough for me. So my sister was like, I know TSU has a really good theater department, and I know you've always wanted to enhance those acting skills. So let's try to go over to the school, see if you can talk to someone there. Did that. Met my professors. They really, really loved me. They went over my resume and my portfolio, and they offered me a really nice scholarship to get into that department. So
cool.
That's what, that was my story as far as going to TSU. And I really appreciate that whole moment because it really, really helped me as far as acting and everything like that. It really gave me my outlet for acting.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. And that's Texas Southern University.
Yes,
in
Texas
Houston,
Southern.
Texas.
Yes.
Very cool. Okay, so let's go how you started dancing. You're saying at this time you were with the agency, started at what age?
So I was about 11 years old.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you already knew how to dance, so where did that come from?
Okay, so that really was something that I just didn't know that I wanted to do. Honestly, I didn't know it was a natural talent. I didn't know that I was blessed with that gift. But it started from my 6th grade year. My social studies teacher, we were all required to do this event called the Social Studies Fair, where we were all given a topic to do a research project on, and then we would have to present that project in front of judges that came out, people that we don't know, basically. And the top first, second, and third place would go into the national level or whatever. So my teacher gave me, because we had different topics. It was either like political science, history, you know. So my teacher gave me the history of tap dancing. And I had no idea, nothing about tap dancing, nothing about dance at all. You know, growing up like in a small town, like no guys were dancing in Alexandria, Louisiana. Literally, it was all like girls, you know, at the studio. You know, they would do that after school. That would be their little extracurricular activity. Yeah. But for me, I had the history of tap dancing, and I really, really wanted to win that competition. So my mom, she was like, you know, for research purposes, why don't you try to reach out to these local studios to see if, you know, you can like go in and get some video footage where you can like add that to your project to kind of show live tap dancing and stuff like that. Okay. Cool. So called around, and the studio that I actually attended as a child, she was open to me coming in. She was like, of course, yeah, you can come in and, you know, record a class. It's going to be at this time, this day. Okay, so went to the studio, and I saw one of my friends that was in the same class as me there. She was holding tap shoes in her hand. You know, at school, like, because I wasn't interested in dance or didn't really know that I was supposed to dance. Like, you know, basically, like, we never talked about it at school. I didn't know that she did dance after school. So when I saw her and I saw her holding the tap shoes, I'm like, Brittany, like, are you in tap class? Like, are you? She's like, yeah, I've been doing this since I was like 3 years old, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, would you be interested in like doing a few simple tap steps for my project? Because we were able to add a partner if we needed to.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So she was like, yeah, of course. Like, you know, of course. So I went into the class. I saw her. I was, you know, observing the class. We did the presentation, and I had like simple steps like a shuffle or a flap, like, you know, and the definition of it. When I made it to that portion, Brittany would demonstrate all of those steps. Okay, so I literally won that round, and I had to transition to the next round. When you go to the next round, you can't use a partner at all. Exactly, right? So you can't use a partner. So I'm like, I have to learn how to do this, or I had to find a different way. Like, and I wanted to get like a little TV and like get a video, and that just was not working out. So I was like, okay, let me just try to learn these steps. I called the studio back, and I was like, okay, I won. I need to learn these simple steps. Like, this is all I need to know. Like, can I please just come in and learn these steps? She was like, oh my God, like, that's great. Like, of course, like, you can come in. Went in and went back to that class. She showed me the simple steps, and then the teacher for that class, just for fun, she was like, okay, so how about you try to do their recital dance, or try to learn their recital dance, like, off on the side. Like, you know, they had been practicing for recital for 8 months, and in that one session, I learned the whole dance. Literally, the whole dance. I
believe it. Yeah.
And that was just crazy. Oh my God, I learned the whole dance.
Right.
And she had been,
with no experience, even for whatever years they had before them.
Exactly.
Wow.
And so she had been observing me. Like, you know, she would invite me to come back every week, you know, just for fun. Like, she would never make it seem like, oh, you're in this class, you're gonna do the recital, da da da. But I didn't know that she was calling the owner literally every time I came to give her updates on how much better I was improving. Like, you know, she was like, I really want to add him to the recital. She had been secretly telling the owner this. So it was probably like 3 weeks before the recital, and she came to me and she was like, is it okay if I like talk to your mom about, you know, you joining the recital? And I was like, okay, you know, explain to me what that is. I'll talk to her, and then I'll let her know, like, you know. So she told me, like, you wouldn't have to pay for anything. I'll literally pay out of my pocket for your costume and everything. Like, I just really want you to join this dance because you literally learned the whole thing. And so I told my mom. She was like, oh, no, I'm not. You don't do this. Like, boys don't dance. Like, it was just crazy. Yeah. And so she was, you don't do this. Like, no, I'm not paying for that, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, Mom, I don't have to pay for it. You don't have to pay for it. Like, literally, they're going to do it. And so she was like, okay, I'll let you do it this time. But, you know, after that, no. I'm like, okay. So,
do you think it was like a ride commitment price issue for her, or she really wants you to dance?
Yeah, it's just not normal. Okay, like, you know, where I'm from, like, the guys are like all playing sports and stuff like that. I literally it was something completely new to my town, my small town. So
Gotcha.
so I did the recital. They came and literally the crowd went wild. My mom was shocked. Like everybody was just like, oh my God. So at the award ceremony that they do at the end, that studio, they always give out like scholarships, dance scholarships for like the upcoming year. So they offered me a scholarship to take all of the free tap classes and all of the free ballet classes that I wanted to take.
Wow.
So because my mom didn't have to pay for it again, she was like, okay, you actually did really good. Like, I'm shocked. And they just gave you a scholarship, so they must really truly be interested in you. I'll let you do it. Like, awesome. It was still a little bit uncomfortable for her, but she did allow me to do it because I guess she didn't have to put anything into it. So from that year, that's when I started training in ballet. I started gaining my technique, and after that year, at the end of that year, they asked me to audition for the competition team there. I did that. I made it, and they continued to want to pay for it and all of that. It was just like things were just like building up. So it was convincing my mom more and more to allow me to do it. So that's where it was. But like that's literally how it started. Like I had no idea that I was blessed with the gift. Naturally, I had so much fun learning the process, but it still never clicked in my head because it wasn't like something that I thought was normal, like so it was just like, okay. And I ran with that, and from there we traveled as a competition team competing, and I was noticed in a lot of different aspects. Like that's when the talent agency came. They offered me all of that, like, so
cool,
crazy, right?
Yeah. So you said you went to the studio that you went to when you were little. So did you go when you were like really little for a little something?
So no, like I was not little. I was in the 6th grade. So
okay, that's when you first started.
That's when I
first
first
step
started.
foot into a studio.
When I first stepped foot into a studio.
Gotcha. Okay, that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Just to clarify. Okay, cool. And then when you say you had the gift, can you describe like what the elements of the gift are?
I guess just like naturally being able to connect to, whatever you've been blessed with. Like honestly, like she would demonstrate a shuffle. I wouldn't have her explain to me what it was. Like I would see it once and I would be able to do it. Like they showed me how to execute a pirouette, and then I did it like immediately.
Oh wow!
Like that. It wasn't really a lot of training at all. Like I literally had 1 year of ballet before I was hitting like triple pirouettes and fouette turns. Like it was a natural gift that it just came out of me, like literally.
Yeah. So coordination, balance, for sure, strength.
Definitely.
Do you think flexibility, was that easy for you?
Flexibility was actually not that. I still had to stretch, like but even flexibility, honestly, even flexibility was pretty natural. Like, I didn't have like the perfect splits in the beginning, but after like a few stretch sessions, like I was able to like go into it like, oh, it hurts, but like it's not too bad. Like I can sit here and get this flexible. Like I don't know. It was honestly weird. I will be honest. It was weird, but I was like, this has to be a natural gift for me. Like like because I've trained so many. Teaching my students. I've trained so many people for years and years and years and years, and you can tell it's something that they just want to do for fun. Like sometimes and. Some people are just, they come in naturally with flexibility. Like, they come in, you don't have to say, oh, this is your first day? Oh, I can't tell. Like, honestly, it's just like that. Like, I think those are the people that are probably just naturally blessed with the gift. If you come in already executing things that should take probably months and years, to really, really learn. Not saying that the people that are just interested in it and gain the same type of technique as the people that naturally come in, like it's not their gift either. I'm not saying that. I just feel like that's like a natural gift, basically, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get it? Like, you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, there's certain physical gifts, for sure, that you're describing.
Gifts.
And then I think just intellectually, for sure, to be able to pick things up that fast.
Yeah.
Visually, kinesthetically. And then, I mean, you certainly have a lot of other gifts that are maybe a little harder to describe. But, you know, just...
Yeah, because, like, with acting, like, I wasn't comfortable with it, like, 100%. Like, I won that competition, you know, with the monologue, which showed me, like, okay, this is something that you should probably try to start honing your craft in. Like, you know, you should start training or, you know, start learning how to really, you know, learn the discipline about theater or acting. Like, you know, you don't really know that. You don't know, you know, really too much about theater and acting. So how about you start training in it? Like, you know, see what you can do. See if you can, like, really, really build that confidence in acting and theater just as well as you naturally had it in dance, like, you know.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much how I feel about that.
Yeah. So theater was a little bit more of a learning process for you.
Yes, definitely.
Can you share us a couple highlights of what you learned?
Yeah. So, you know, even like going in, I was still nervous, like going into my theater department after like being accepted with my resume and portfolio and all that. I was super nervous. Like, I wouldn't even audition for the roles. I was like, okay, questioning like even being there, like, you know. But my professors, like, they saw so much in me, saw so much potential in me. They're like, I know, like, you can do this. Like, stop being afraid of doing it. Like, you can do it. And like even my first musical that I was a part of, like, I lied to my professor and I told him I couldn't sing. And yeah, he wanted me to like audition for like a singing role, and I'm like, no, this is too much. Like, you know, super nervous. Like,
yeah,
I can naturally do this dancing, this choreography part. Like, you know, can I just be in the dance section of the musical? He's like, no, like, you know, you need a speaking role because you have an actual solo dance at the end. Like, you know, we really need to know your character. Like, so you have to take this role. I'm like, oh my God, so I have to learn lines. Like, you know, and it was only like a few lines, you know, but I will say it really, really gained my confidence. I mean, it helped me gain confidence, just speaking, publicly speaking, and, you know, just performing as a whole. Like, it's not just like in theater you really have to, you know, tell a story. At the studio that I was at, we really gained technique, but it was all about just performing to please the crowd instead of like really, really building some type of character and getting like, you know. So that's what it was. It really helped me like dive deeper into even just like dance or like any type of performing arts. Like it theater just really helped in that aspect because I mean it's like building your character and really, really you know, how do I explain it? Just doing like a lot of homework before actually performing. Like, you know, of course in dance, like, you have to build your technique before you like go out and do full choreography. But, you know, in theater, it's like of course you have your director that helps you with your characterization and stuff like that, but you have to create your own, you know, character. Like, you know, you really have to do things on your own a lot of the times, and really, really dig deeper, you know, in whatever role, even if it's just like a small ensemble role. You really, really have to figure out, like, you know, what am I going to bring to showcase myself and really, really, you know, execute this character properly, you know. So it really helped with that because it helped with my choreography as well, you know. Now it's not just I'm teaching you choreography just to perform and look pretty. I want to see your leaps. I want to see your jumps. I really, really want to feel the choreography. Like, you know, I want to feel something from it. I don't want to just see tricks all the time. So that's what it really helped with, I guess. Becoming a more advanced performer. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, in general, like all performing arts, like, so yeah.
So I always hear in dance that you have to take ballet because it's a foundation. Do you think learning to act should be a foundation of dance as well?
Yeah, probably if you're gonna do like musical theater.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're gonna do that style of dance, like,
What about story ballet?
Yeah, it will help, definitely, for sure. It helps for sure.
Yeah.
So
So
I mean,
you sing?
I do, yes, but we're not gonna get on that.
Okay.
But yes, I do sing.
How did you develop your voice?
Just through church. Growing up, I was in the church choir. Even when I was super young, there was like a community choir called United Voices that I was a part of. I was like 3. I joined that when I was 3 years old.
Wow.
I was like the youngest one,
Yeah.
So, yeah, from there, I would say.
Awesome.
And then I was in choir in middle school and in high school. So, yeah.
Harmonies
And all of that. I can do 8 parts, all of that.
What's your part?
I am a baritone.
Cool. All right. So when did you really start your career in it, after school or during school? What was your first step into like professional performing?
So my first step, I would say, would be with the Urban Souls Dance Company. Yeah. Coming into TSU, I joined because of course, I was a theater major. I wanted to gain all of that experience, enhance my acting skills, of course. But I still wanted that outlet of dance. Like, TSU we have one dance class. It's a modern dance class on campus. That's literally it. And then you have a lot of different dance organizations. So, one of my fellow classmates, my colleagues, he told me, he was a dancer as well. He was like, I'm a part of the TSU dance company, it's where like, all of because you have all these different majors, like, we can all come together. We all have a love for dance. Like, we have auditions, we have judges. I really think you should audition, come join and, keep dancing. Because if you don't, you're going to lose your technique. Like, so I auditioned for that. I ended up making it, and he told me about the Urban Souls Dance Company because he was on the second company at the time. And he was like, the TSU Dance Company is great. We have fun. We perform for a lot of events, but a lot of the times we're making up the choreography ourselves. So, if you want to continue your training, like, with prominent people, like, you really need to try to go out and take some classes, like, So, he was like, I'm a part of the second company with Urban Souls, and we have like an open ballet class that you can come to. He invited me to that, and I started attending those classes. And from there, I loved it. Like, I loved the environment, everything about it. Like, it was super new to me, like, extremely. And when the auditions came, I auditioned and I made the second company my first year. And then towards the end of my first year with second company, the artistic director, Harrison Guy, he asked me to participate in one of the performances that the first company did. It was called Blood on the Leaves. And that was my first time really, really, like, performing with a professional company, honestly. So, yeah, that's where it started. I was so new to that whole modern dance because I had never even taken modern dance at all. Like, and he's super, Horton, like, the technique, the Horton technique. I really had to build my foundation on that, and I just truly appreciate, like, everything that Harrison has really, given me while I've been here in Houston. He's really helped me gain my confidence. And even, like, as, like I was saying, like, growing up, it was all about performing to just, like, please the crowd. Like, we want to see the leaps and the turns. And, and of course that was great. They helped me get to where I am now, but Harrison honestly helped me, like, with that storytelling along with the theater department. Like, it's not always about just performing a pretty piece, like, with tricks and turns. Like, you really want to make the audience feel something, That's the more professional style of dance, like, So, yeah, it started with Urban Souls. And
so what was that like, performing with Urban Souls, and maybe what was Blood on the Leaves about, so we can get a sense of that?
So it was great. I mean, I'm still with the company now. I'm still on the first company now, and I love everything about it still. Like, every time I go to class, like, it's like I'm learning so much more about myself. Just, he really makes you think, like, I just love it so much. But yeah, so it was that. And then with Blood on the Leaves, it happened around the time, like right after the Trayvon Martin incident. And we were really just, explaining or performing that story in a sense, like, along with all of the other, multi-generational trauma that has went on in the community for, African Americans. So that's truly what the whole performance was about, and it was great. Like, I met a lot of really good people in that, and we're still all really cool to this day. I will say that has been like my most favorite performance ever. Honestly, yeah, it was a really good concert. I will say that. I wish we can do it again. Like, I just want him to bring it back. Like, it's perfect for this time right now. Like, yeah.
Was it a piece or a
it was a whole
collection
concert.
of pieces?
It was a whole concert, dance concert.
Like one long movement?
No.
Okay.
It was different pieces. I would say it probably had about 8 different pieces throughout the whole show.
And so that was your first time performing with the company?
Yeah. Well, we did like a small performance with the second company, but that was my second time really I would say that was like my first time really performing for a big crowd and really like doing a full like dance like showcase or dance concert where I was in multiple pieces with a professional company. Yeah. And then, the second company is the pre-professional company. So it was my first performance with a professional company. So yeah.
Is it available? Can we see it?
There is a few clips. I know that I think on the website, on the Urban Souls website, where you can pull that up and see, some. I don't think it's the full thing. I think it's a few, like, maybe like a trailer or something like that. But yeah,
okay.
You can see a little bit of it.
We'll put a link to it.
And it may be some clips on YouTube. I'm not for sure.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll definitely, yeah. I'll let you know for sure.
Yeah, we'll link to it
so
people can see.
Yeah, of course.
Get a taste. Yeah. So what happened after that? Because I know you've like gone outside of Houston. You've worked with Dwight Baxter, Carla Earl, Norma Miller, like a lot. Right.
So I've just been auditioning, honestly. I've been auditioning for a lot of different things. With Mr. Baxter, so I met him through TSU. They were doing an exhibit on him in the University Museum. He was a part of the Dance Theater of Harlem. So Dance Theater of Harlem had actually come to Houston at that time, and they did an exhibit on him, like in the University Museum. I went, and I ended up meeting him there and told him about the dance company. He was super excited about it. I don't know, he just kept telling me, like, you have really good training. Like, I've never really seen someone here at TSU that has as much training in dance as you. Like, so he, like, really connected with me. He wanted to, come in and, like, help the company, at times. We let him come in a few times and, like, teach a few classes. I think he taught, like, us a piece one time when we performed it at the University Museum. So, yeah, that was meeting Mr. Baxter. Now, with Carla Earl, that situation was kind of like crazy because I was like, once again, I was on the TSU dance company, and one of my friends that was on the company with me, she was a voice major, and she was like out to eat one day, and she saw Mr. Baxter. Like, Mr. Baxter had a connection with the company. So Mr. Baxter, who I didn't know had such an extensive resume, like
Yeah.
resume is like, what? Okay. So he was with Carla Earl and all of these like super professional people that have been like in the business for years and years and years. And they were here for a traveling show called Baby Hold On to Me. And they were actually needing 3 more dancers because 3 of their dancers from New York weren't able to travel at the time because they were in school or whatever. They couldn't make the Houston performance. So Mr. Baxter talked to her, you know, oh yeah, let's see if call Hindolo and see if he'll want to come and blah blah blah. So she called me, she told me about it. I'm like, okay. She gave me the number, Carla Earl. I called her, talked to Miss Carla. She was like, yeah, one of her things that she always says is, can you twirl? Like, can you twirl? And I didn't know what that meant. Like, I had no idea what that meant. But I guess that's her, like, phrase of, like, can you, like, really dance? Like, or are you just coming in here just to have fun? Like, you know? Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, yeah, I can twirl. Like, I don't know. Like, but yeah, I can twirl. So, anyway, I go to she invited me to the location. She said, I wanted to audition you, and I want to audition you, see what you can do. Went in, they taught me like her dance captain taught me a piece. Mm-hmm. I learned that. She left for probably like 30 minutes, mm-hmm. learned that, came back in. She was like, okay, I want to see it. So I did the choreography. She was like, oh, you could twirl. Like, you could twirl. I'm like, okay, thanks. Like, you know, but she was still like, I can't make a full decision right now. I have to talk with Dwight, and after I talk with Dwight, I'll let you know. Like, you know, of course, you have a yes from me, but I'm gonna bring Dwight in so you know he can see you, and you'll probably have to perform it again. So I'm this whole time in my head, Dwight, because we knew him as Mr. Baxter. I didn't know, like, you know, I knew his full name, yes, but I just didn't remember his full name. Because it was always, hey, Mr. Baxter. Mm-hmm. So, out of nowhere, Dwight Baxter comes walking in, and he's like, okay, so, you know, so who do you need to see? Who I need to see? And then she's like, okay, so right here, his name is Hindolo. She was, oh, Hindolo? Oh, yeah, he's good. I'm like, is this the Dwight that you're talking about? Like, this is Mr. Baxter. Like, and that's when I found out about his resume. I didn't even know. I knew about the Dance Theater of Harlem. I just didn't know about all of the other things that he had, you know, been a part of. And she's like, who did you think I was talking about? I'm like, I didn't know. And she's like, do you not know his resume? And I'm like, I don't. They showed it to me. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, this is crazy. Like, what? So, but anyway, yeah. That was the whole Carla Earl situation. I had so much fun with that because I was able to like work with celebrities that I had like been seeing on TV. Like, it was a really fun show, and a great opportunity. And then, you know, the Norma Miller situation was with Swing Baby Swing through Dance Houston. And I was so honored to be the rehearsal director for that and assistant choreographer. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. And Miss Carla, she wanted me, like, you know, of course, because we had a connection already, to just, you know, be dance captain for that and really help with that whole process. So yeah, I mean, that's where that's my connection with those people. Currently, like, I'm a teacher. I teach dance and theater at McGowan Elementary School. So I'm able to, you know, do both. You know, I love like giving back to the kids. It's really great. I love like seeing them grow in the arts, and even just exposing them to a lot of things that they may not know if they're even fully interested in. Like, I like to see like if I'm pulling a natural gift out of you, like, you know, because like myself, I was unaware, and a lot of times I see that through my students. Like, they're unaware how great they are because they've never been exposed to it. So that's what I'm currently doing right now, is, you know, teaching.
Awesome. So what are you doing with your kids?
So
what's the program like? Well, okay, what would it be like under normal circumstances, and what are you doing under these circumstances?
Under normal circumstances. So It would be. We normally like train the whole first semester. Like I've been, dance training and theater training throughout the full first semester. And of course we're learning like, the curriculum, of course. And
what's your curriculum made of?
it's the Texas curriculum.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So from there, we have a fall show, and then we just have a spring show as well. And then, like, of course, if there's like events going on, like a fall festival or something like that, or like open house, like we'll do a performance with that. But yeah, I have a drama club and a dance ensemble, and then for the class, like, we pretty much just learn the full curriculum and everything like that. So yeah, it's pretty much what it is. Like it's fun.
What grade level
So
is
it's
your...
kindergarten through 5th.
Do you have a favorite?
Do I have a favorite grade? Okay. I think I do. I think I do. I'll say 3rd grade. I really love 3rd grade. Like, it's like, I don't know if that's like the happy medium, but it's like their behavior is great. Like, it's not too all over the place, and they're not also like thinking they're too mature for like, elementary school.
Right.
So it's right. Because, 5th grade, they're like the seniors of elementary school. So
yes.
It may be too much sometimes. But yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
What kind of songs which songs have you used with them recently?
So, last year we weren't able to do our second performance, of course, but
right.
We had a winter program, and we just did a variety of different Christmas songs. And we had like a few scenes and like Christmas scenes. Then I had a few of my singers like perform a few Christmas songs, like the normal.
Nice.
All the Christmas songs, like Jingle Bells and We Wish You a Merry Christmas, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, like so yeah, I'm in my 2nd year now, so
golly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what's the plan for next week?
So next week is gonna be virtual, of course, and it's just gonna be like the welcome week where they come in, and I don't want to like give too much, but we'll be doing like a dance challenge, the first week where, I've choreographed the challenge for them, and I'll have them, I'll be live for like 4 hours of the day. So I'll be teaching them the choreography through there. And then, towards the end of the week, at the end of the week, I want them to upload just them doing the actual performance, like, the actual challenge. So yeah, that's pretty much, this is going to be a fun, simple first week.
Cool.
So they can get like acclimated to me and really like
Will that be for every grade level?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's gonna be different. It's gonna be different. It's some like the kindergarten through 3rd grade, they have like a simple challenge, and then 4th and 5th it's a little bit more advanced, but yeah.
So what, I guess, is it an elective or is it a block, a special class? Like, all kids take it? Okay, yep. Everybody gets it like once a week?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Once or twice a week. Yeah.
Cool.
So, yeah. Which, I mean, that is, kind of difficult a little bit because they only get it once or twice a week, and some of them really want to be there all week, and some need a little bit more training than others. So I wish I could have them all every day, but just it's impossible. So, but we make the best of what we have. So I got really good reviews last year from the district with my winter program. They really loved it. They spoke highly of me. So yeah, I mean, it came out. I was super surprised how well they did. So,
good.
It was really, really good. Like, I loved it.
They made you proud.
They did.
Good job, kiddos.
Right? Look, good job. Great job. You made me proud. And that's hard to do.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So when you teach them like online, do you get a different sense of who they really are than when they're all together? Because imagine dance has, some kids are more insecure.
Yeah.
And maybe, do they change when they're just at home?
I mean, not really, no. Because they know they still have to definitely be dedicated to school. So, not really, but I do prefer, I really wish that we can be in the classroom because I just like being more hands-on with them. Like, you know, if I see you, you know, messing up on or struggling on whatever step it may be, like, you know, I can really like come to you and help you, like slowly break it down with you, like, you know. So I it's harder, it is, but you know, I teach at a lot of dance studios. Well, not a lot, a few dance studios here in Houston, and we just had a virtual recital, and like for the, you know, when quarantine came, it was like early March, right?
March 13th.
March 13th, yeah. Exactly. Okay, Andrea. March 13th, okay? Yes, because it was right after my birthday, okay?
There you go.
Okay, so when it came, like we had the recital was in June. Yeah. So we had to still figure out like a creative way to still like let the students perform what they had been learning, you know? And so the studio opened back up and all the teachers were able to go into the studio, you know, one at a time and actually just teach virtually to the students. Yeah. So nice. We continued the choreography.
You have the space.
We have the space. No students are in there, but they're at home. And I teach, well, one studio specifically, tap. I teach tap at that studio. So that was pretty difficult because, you know, at home, even like for myself growing up, my mom would let me tap on her floor.
Right.
Like, you know, you don't want to mess up and scratch up your wood floor. So they're learning a full-blown tap, you know, piece at their house where a lot of them, they have carpet or they can't actually put on their shoes. And then it was beginner tap, so a lot of them were in their first year. So you can see them like struggling a lot. And, you know, I just felt like, you know, sorry for that situation because it's like I really want to be more hands-on with them so I can really, really help them. It turned out great, you know, really great. I'm also very proud of them, okay? Because that was amazing.
Yeah.
But, you know, it would be, of course, easier if we were able to be face-to-face, you know, but, you know, we are dealing with a pandemic right now, so we can't change anything that's going on. I just wish that, you know, it goes away soon and we can get back to normal everyday life what we're used to.
Are you comfortable with the risk you would take in going back to school, like if you had to go Monday, or like at what point do you feel like you'd be
of course, no. I'm all for safety, for sure. Like, you know, if it's not the right time to do it, no, I don't want to do it. But, you know, I just wish it never happened, basically. Right. You know, I can't control it, but I just wish it never happened. Because, you know, like I said, I just prefer being more hands-on with my students. I think it's better, you know? But you have to do what you have to do. Yeah.
University of Houston developed a vent that goes in AC systems and zaps the virus out of the air.
Really?
They published the paper on it mid-July. What? And it looks really good. They work together with a medical company, and they want to put it in hospitals and in schools. Right.
You said the University of Houston?
Yes, sir.
What? That is great.
It looks great.
Yeah. I need to look into that. Yeah. Like, that would be great if we can zap the virus out of the air. Like, what? Yes.
Yeah, we've learned already that like viral load is such a big issue in terms of contagion and the effects it has on us. Right. So, you know, if you can just tone it down.
Right.
That'd be great.
Exactly.
So I think it's going through, you know, approval processes, and then I don't know what the manufacturing possibilities look like, but you know, the technology exists.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes. That would be great. Definitely.
Fresh air.
Yes, a breath of fresh air for sure. Because let's go approve it for the University of Houston. Please.
I approve.
I approve it, 100%. Okay.
Yeah. So I can imagine that most of your students today won't have the opportunity to learn from the people you've learned from. You know, Norma Miller has passed on. I mean, Dwight and Carla are doing great, but we're talking, you know, way down in the future. Is there something you've learned from each of them that has really impacted you that you could pass along to our listeners?
Yes, definitely, for sure. Like with Miss Norma Miller, like that was an amazing experience. Like being able to meet that living legend, like, you know, was just, I was so grateful because I was like, oh my God, like I can't believe I'm here. Like, you know, with Norma, like I didn't really know too much about Lindy Hop and swing dance before Swing Baby Swing. I just, you know, would always enjoy watching it Like, you know, they look so fun, you know. Didn't know the technical aspects of it at all. So, it's definitely not the easiest thing either. Like, it looks so easy, so fun. But, yeah, it's some technique behind it for sure. You know, just with that opportunity, I didn't think that I would ever be able to meet someone that has actually started or, you know, been in the founding stages of a specific style of dance. Like, you know, like growing up, when I started taking tap, they always called me like Gregory Hines of Alexandria, Louisiana. Right? So, you know, I knew I wouldn't have the opportunity of meeting Gregory Hines, but I did do my research and I went and saw who is Gregory Hines? Like, who are they calling me? Like, you know, and he's an amazing tap dancer, like, you know.
Right.
But Norma Miller, like learning about her, you know, and knowing that she was in those founding stages and actually being in her presence was just like too much for me. I'm like, oh my God. So yes.
What was her presence like to you?
She was the the funniest person. Like, what? Oh my gosh, so strict. Like, if you're not doing it right and you know she knows, like, hello, this is her thing. Hello. Right. And yeah, she was not easy on us at all. Like, I was thinking, like, you know, oh, it's gonna be great, like, you know, meeting her, like, she'll give you a hug and then she'll get on you. Like, this is not okay, let me see it. Like, you should be and 1, 2, 3. Like, you know, it's just great. I love it. Yeah. That was fun. Yeah, so I mean, I've learned a lot of things from all of the great people, especially I would definitely say Harrison guy. Like, one thing that he always, like, you know, tells me it's about decisions, like, you know, like, and just, it's about choices and decisions, like, you know. So in performance in general, like, you know, a lot of the times, you know, just building your confidence and building your growth as a dancer, like, you know, I want to, like, ask him a lot of the times, what should I do? Like, you know, and he's not that type of choreographer. It's like, make a decision. Like, you know, what are you going to do? Like, you know, show me what you're going to do. Then I'll tell you, like, you know, if it's just wrong or if it's not, if it's, you know, if it's right or if it's too much or if it's not enough, like, you know. So I would say definitely I try to, you know, help my dancers that way. Cool. You know, I don't want to give them too much. Of course, I'm helping you build a technique, but I want you to grow your individuality as an artist. Like, you know, don't make me tell you every single thing that you need to do, you know, because otherwise you won't be an individual artist. Like, you know, you won't have your own thing. Like, you know, let me see what you come up with. So, you know, I really try to instill that in my dancers as well and the people that I teach. Like, even directing a show, like, as a director, I don't like to go in and tell all of the actors how to, you know, give the line. Like, you know, not specifically. Like, let me see what you're going to do. You know, and then if it's too much, I'll tell you. If it's not enough, I'll tell you. But this is helping you grow as an artist. Like, you know. So, yeah. I mean, just really that's one of the biggest things that I take from the people that I've, you know, worked with. Because with the whole decisions aspect and really creating your own choices, it helps everywhere that I've been. Like, you know, even with Miss Carla Earl, like, it helps. It really does. It helps build your individuality as an artist, and that's very important.
Awesome. What do you want to do? Where do you want to see Urban Souls go? Like, I mean, I know that you're not in charge, but I understand it's a really collaborative company too. So, and you're wanting to represent that work. How do you see that happening? Like, what are you hoping for, and how can we support you?
Yeah, you know, we still have plans of, you know, things coming up, and that's just all. Like, really, just because what Urban Souls is, it's not. I will say whatever Urban Souls has given me and where they're at right now, I appreciate. Like, you know, I don't think it should really even do anything more than what it is doing for me right now. But just continually providing those, you know, performance opportunities, I would say, you know, for the city of Houston and wherever else, like, you know, he wants to take the company. But everything that he's providing right now is 100% what it should be. Like, definitely. I just enjoy, training with him and training with the company, and, constant classes, constant performances, all of that is what I just appreciate. Like,
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Are you training now, or are you all on hiatus?
Yeah, right now we're on, of course, because of, the COVID thing, we're on a hiatus, but we're definitely going to get back into the studio very soon, for sure. So, yeah. How
have you been dealing with being on hiatus, and are you dancing? School's been out for like 3 months. Have you continued?
Yeah, I've been continuing my training, as much as I can on my own. And then I'm still teaching, virtually, and then some of the studios that I've started, that I work at, some of them have opened back up, and we just really enforce the social distancing and the mask, in the studio. So I'm still working consistently, training myself and my students, just through different ways. Like, some are virtual, some are in person, and things are slowly starting to get back to normal, I will say, but then not really. It's like it'll be okay for 1 minute, then there's a spike in numbers, and you have to so yeah.
Right. And I would imagine the performing arts just being, one of the
closing Broadway
hardest
and
things. Well, you got to get all the people in the house, and then you got to cram all the people backstage, and it's just
it's gonna be completely different for a while. I know. I mean, I can't wait till things get back to normal, and they figure out what we can do to create that state of normalcy again. But I don't really think it's fully going away, so I'm sure things will change in a sense, but I mean, I just want things to get back to how they were.
So Broadway's just closed?
Yeah,
it's kind of hard to wrap my mind around. I mean, because Disney's a little open now.
Yeah, no, they
but
definitely
Broadway's just
closed
still
Broadway.
Completely closed.
If I'm not mistaken, I think it's still closed. Yeah, I don't know for sure if it opened back up, but I know it was closed for a while, so I think it's still closed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I know there's nothing going on in the theaters here.
Exactly. Yeah. No. Not at all. It's not safe enough yet.
So, let's just say worst case scenario, this eventually we just accept that they're not gonna open.
Right.
So then what would you want? How would you see yourself sharing your work, sharing your message, sharing your gifts?
That is a really hard question. I would have to just be creative as possible. With where we're at right now with the whole virtual thing, it was new to everyone. Even the district, in the beginning, everybody was just we don't know what to do, and things were changing constantly. But things are becoming, a little bit more cohesive. We're coming with a better plan. So, I mean, I would just have to be creative 100%. I hope that is not the case. I really do hope that is not the case. But, if it is, we will just have to go with it. And, of course, there's still going to be the arts, for sure. We're just going to all have to become more creative on how to really perform for whoever. Or even teach. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it would just take a lot of creativity.
Are you comfortable just posting a video of yourself dancing?
Yeah. Stuff like that. Of course. Just.
I mean, I'm more creative than that.
Of course. Stuff like that. Of course, creating content virtually, uploading videos to different social media sites, and but as far as live theater, how is that gonna change? It won't be the same. It's basically like film in a sense. You can watch a live production, because they do a lot of those live productions on NBC that they're coming out with, but it's still not the same. The audience experience is not the same. So that's what I'm thinking about.
What do you think about doing a drive-in show?
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing.
Show on the beach?
That's one thing that you can, that'll be, I'm sure, fun. creative. Like I love that concept because they're doing that now. Like, you know, drive-in like movie theaters and stuff like that. So yeah.
And I love outdoor events. I think it just really changes the artistry you're able to, you know, utilize. Like just technically, like you're just not going to have wings or maybe special effects that you you know are used to in a theater. You're just going to be like outside, on that stage or over there.
Exactly. Yep.
You know? But it's doable. Everybody's spaced out, big enough space.
Yeah. Look, that may be what we have to go to. Like, you know, all of the theaters may have to be, you know, performed at an outside theater. Like, you know, who knows? I don't know. Because they say it's safer to be outside. Like, you know.
Well, it's the same thing with the vent. All the vent does is heat it up. It just heats the air up real fast. Yeah. To like 300 degrees. But it dies way before that. So. Right.
Yeah, so, yeah, that may be what we have to do. Like, you know. I don't know. It's just all brand new. It really is. And of course, it's not going anywhere because artists will not be able to live without being able to truly, like, you know, express their artistry. But we'll just have to be more creative in those aspects for sure.
So, yeah. And I think it's our responsibility too, just to, you know, continue to like move the culture forward, you know? I mean, not responsibility and joy, and just that's all part of it. Yeah. And, you know, we can't just get stuck on March 13th. Right. You know? Right. Yeah. Nobody wants to go back to March 13th.
At all. Please, never.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. I'm watching our school district for my kids, like, a contestant on Fear Factor, because like whatever they say, it's like you have to stay home with your children for the next 9 weeks and teach them 25 assignments a week each. Yes. And upload them to various platforms. Or it's like you have to come in with all the other students and cram into those hallways and go to the cafeteria. It's like, oh goodness. Right. You know?
Yes. It's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah.
So, I guess like let's think about just what's on your horizon. So, you've got school starting. What else is coming up for you?
So, you know, it's really honestly, I've put a lot of my focus into school and my teaching right now. But I do have a few things planned as far as like choreography go. I am working on a choreography series right now. It's a virtual thing where I'm working with a few dancers. It's about 6 dancers, and they'll be all recorded, you know, video doing my choreography, and I'll be uploading that to various social media sites. But that's pretty much all I'm doing right now because I'm super busy with school.
Well, that's a lot.
Yeah, I'm working with like 6 dancers. You know, I have like 6 pieces that I've choreographed, and we'll be filming them in different locations here in Houston. And yeah,
cool. Can you tell us more about it?
I mean, yeah, I can. It's like it's just like different styles of dance, different dancers, that all do different styles, and yeah, I mean, I'll be doing like jazz, I'll be doing tap, and like musical theater as well. So, and I have like contemporary option that I'll probably, you know, be doing. But anyway, yeah, that's just pretty much it. Like it'll be just different, showing my different styles of choreography. Like I can pretty much, I'm proficient in a lot of different genres of dance. So I want to really just start putting myself out there as a choreographer and not just a performer, because a lot of people come to me as, you know, being the person that should be out dancing, and I love that. You know, I love performing, but I also really, 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 really enjoy teaching. Like it's like one of my biggest passions, honestly. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And you choreographed an 80s piece with Mr. Baxter.
Yes, I did.
Who's definitely like Mr. 80s in
Right.
terms of his music video.
Right.
You know,
Yes.
appearances.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
What was that
so
process
much.
like?
It was fun, of course. Mr. Baxter is just so exciting every time we're together. Like, yeah, I mean, it was really, really, I enjoyed it.
Did you
for
see
sure.
like movement, or did you study like his old videos from Beat It or from?
Yeah, and then he
that?
even like, you know, when he showed me a lot of things that was just like, it was pretty difficult, I will say. Like,
Yeah.
you know, because even, you know, dance definitely like transitions over
Yeah,
time.
it moved
So,
on, right.
Right. So I'm
Uh-huh.
like, oh my God, like, is this something like, you know, that you guys really did? Like, okay. But yeah, it was fun. I learned a lot of new things, of course.
New old moves.
New old moves,
Yeah.
yes. So, yeah, that was fun. I definitely use him as a research, you know, something to research, you know, for the choreography. So, yeah,
Cool.
that was fun. That was at the, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, y'all did great. It was awesome.
Yeah.
I loved it, and that was a little taste of your choreography.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Mhm.
It was fun.
So this
That,
new
and then Swing
oh, yeah.
Baby Swing for sure. Like that, working with Carla and you and, you know, Mr. Baxter, like, yeah, that was fun too.
That was
For
a
sure.
lot of new old moves.
That was
like a ton.
So many new old moves. Oh my
Right.
God, that took so much research. So much
Yeah.
research for
And
sure.
it was y'all were hit from a lot of different angles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
Fi-
yeah.
fire hose approach.
Right.
There's so many moves in that show that I know, you know, just you all could jazz dance and you all could hip hop.
Right.
And so it seems like, well, this should be easy.
Mhm.
And it's like still just a foreign language. I mean,
Mhm.
you know, it's a lot.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. It was a lot. But, you know, it was a fun experience. I loved it. And yeah, I learned a lot of new old moves that
You
I
did great. Yeah. It was
that
so
I'm
fun.
now proficient in. I can now, you know, do the Big Apple right now. Like, you know, never knew what the Big Apple was before that, but I can do it right now if I need to. Okay?
Do you have a really good memory for everything too? It's not just like you pick it up quick, but you hang on to it?
I mean, yeah, a
Yeah.
little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
That's
Mhm.
amazing.
After, you know, definitely used to be better when I didn't have so much to learn. But after creating so much choreography and learning so many dances, like, you know, sometimes I forget a little bit of, you know, the older choreography. But yeah, a lot of the times I can pick it back up easily.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Or it may take like one review and I have it. Like, oh, okay, I got it. We're good.
So it's like a photographic memory, but it's like a videographic
Mhm.
memory or something.
Right? Look, videographic memory. That's funny. Yeah. Yeah.
I know. I've seen you in action, so I know it's true.
Yes,
It's just
isn't it crazy?
Yeah, it is crazy.
It's really crazy. Like,
Yeah.
not knowing, you know, like, I did not know anything about Lindy Hop
I know
or
you
anything
didn't.
like that.
Right.
And then what?
Right.
I had it.
Right. Awesome. So let's close with you giving us an assignment as your students, just whether it's like a dance assignment or a life assignment or a little bit of both. What can we do to, progress as artists and handle all this going on?
Mm-hmm.
What can you send us off with?
So I would say, like, you know, definitely don't let this time, like, fully get you down. Like, we know, like I said, I wish things were back to normal 100%. But as artists, we just have to continue to grow, you know, despite whatever we're going through. So use this time to just really, you know, train, even if you have to train at home, getting on YouTube videos and really just, you know, taking virtual classes. I know a lot of really great choreographers offer a lot of virtual classes, you know, so really just try to, you know, keep enhancing your talent and your artistry, and just don't allow this time to really, you know, get you down. Because, you know, if you stop, it's gonna be hard to just bring it right back. So, you know, you really, really have to stay consistent with it for sure. So that's my, you know, word of advice. during this time specifically. So yeah, stay consistent. Don't stop. Keep growing. You're great. So yeah, that's what it'll be.
My guest today is Hindolo Bongay. Hindolo, thank you for being a part of Dance Talks.
Thank you for having me, Andrea. I appreciate it so much. Thank you.
Thanks for listening. Please subscribe and share our podcast, and reach out to us on social media if you'd like to talk. To support Dance Talks, donate to Dance Houston. Talk to you on Monday.